Welcome in, everyone, to Behind the G, a podcast for Red Elephants by Red Elephants. I'm your intrepid co-storyteller, KDB. Because seated with me, maybe for the final time, is the new head football coach at Carver Atlanta, Adam Lindsey. Let's go ahead and debunk that. Been a busy week. Listen, it's been a busy week for you, my guy. What with the GHSA deciding how playoff seeding is going to go from here on out. Milton coming up for our football team. Yep. And of course the new gig. We do need to discuss that a little bit. But I mean, I walk into work on Monday, you're on the phone with the AJC. Then there was another phone call with the AJC about the two things I just mentioned. Went down to Atlanta. We're on Score Atlanta talking about their nightly high school football show, talking about the GHSA ruling, and we'll get into a little bit of that coming up. But yeah, let's talk about your new gig.
Well, let's be very clear. There is no new gig. So I went to their office to have a different conversation,
right? And
they were like, "Hey, we're on live. Will you go downstairs and talk about the new GHSA stuff?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever." So I go down there and get on it, and it's streamed live. They play it later in the day, but I immediately started getting phone calls like, "What is this new head coach at Carver Atlanta?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then people are sending me screenshots with a picture of me, and it has my name, Adam Lindsey, and it says Carver Atlanta head football coach. So great. So I don't even know how I don't know if they had him on early. I have no idea.
If so, his name wouldn't be Adam Lindsey.
No.
Here's what had happened in production. It's called a lower third, right? They have a lower third. So they can identify you on the screen for those just tuning in. Lower third. They probably had Carver Atlanta coach on, and he didn't go change that part of it. Just the Adam Lindsey, but that was.
Hey, a lot of people have had a lot of fun with it, and I'm so glad that I could play a small part in that.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime Adam can make somebody smile. Before we get into the actual show, though, when we were discussing him being on it, and I was saying what a great job he did, and blah blah blah, he says to me, "Are you listening? Are you listening, Red Elephants?" He says to me, "But did my hair look good?" He was worried about his hair. Forget the Carver Atlanta part. Forget actually the words that came out of his mouth. My man wanted to know.
No, my hair was bad. It was bad, and I was like, I know I've got this thing going on with my hair right now, and I don't really know exactly what's going on, but it
looks good.
Well, I think so sometimes
and it looked good there.
I probably should have taken the sunglasses off, or I didn't have time to go through hair and makeup, I guess.
Listen, they sprung this on you.
Yeah.
They sprung the new job on you, too. We don't really know where that's going.
Yeah.
So on this week's episode, Adam and I...
I know where it's not going.
I know where it's not going. On this week's episode, Adam and I are going to have a fun chat with senior softball, flag football, and lacrosse player Finley O'Callaghan. And, of course, we're going to check the football vibes with Coach Josh Niblett. Before we bring in our guest, we're going to get into a little bit of what Big Red's been up to since we last chatted with you all, a little about the GHSA's most recent ruling that Adam and I were alluding to just moments ago. And we're going to take a minute to pull from the trunk the names of our most recent alumni who had notable weekends of college competition. First, though, your weekly reminder, Red Elephants, if you aren't following us on social media, please do so. At Go Red Elephants is the handle across the board. That's 4 platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, make sure you've got our website, GoRedElephants.com, bookmarked to keep up with who we've stomped lately, but also team rosters, our schedule, and of course, we have the most amazing photographer on staff who does a great job of making sure that you've got in-game photos, but also photos from all of our senior nights and any special recognition that we have. Those are available on our website as well for view and download. GoRedElephants.com is the site, and you can get those photos on our app too. Gainesville Athletics is what you search for in the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Before we get to GHSA, before we get to our alumni, flag football started up.
Yeah.
They had a couple home games last week. Yep. We had Jordan McCoy, the coach of our new sport, on last week. Did a great job telling everybody a little bit about what flag football was like. But man, you can't the excitement of it, the sheer fun of watching our student athletes perform in a different way. Yeah. Cannot be translated on a podcast. You got to get out to Bruce Miller Field and see it. It was a fun start to the season.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to over the next couple of weeks, as we mentioned, softball's ending. There's going to be some softball girls that go out and join them. Volleyball is still got a couple of weeks left. As they qualified for the playoffs last night. So need those girls to be focusing on volleyball. But once that team gets at full strength, there's going to be some pretty good athletes out on that field.
Absolutely.
And there's already great athletes out there. So I'm going to be very interested to see the exciting things that they do this season.
And what's great is sort of the learning experience. Our first actual games were against two programs that have been in existence a couple years in Marist and Clark Central. And talking to Jordan after those games, not only was it a learning experience for our girls, having actual refs out there that, but a learning experience for our coaches, seeing how these teams that, again, have been through full seasons kind of operate. And, for those of us who were watching, just jaw-dropping fun.
Well, and that's you brought up the coaches there, and I just want to, there's not a flock of flag football coaches out there. So basically everybody who's coaching flag football had to learn it from the ground up. Yeah. So I appreciate the fact that our coaches were willing to take that on, and I feel like they're doing a great job. They've gone and involved themselves in different camps and clinics that the Atlanta Falcons have been partnered with to bring people in and kind of teach and grow that game. So, it's very interesting on that side of things.
You mentioned volleyball qualifying for the state tournament. Did that on Tuesday night with a nail-biting 5-set win over Roswell. Make it into the Class 5A state tournament, yes. Also, though, make it to the Region 7 5A semifinals. They will take on Milton tonight. Again, we're recording this on Wednesday. They'll play Milton tonight at Seconder as they continue play in the Region 7 5A tournament. But Adam, what a match last night.
It was up and down. I mean, we came out and kicked them in the teeth to begin with.
Absolutely.
And second set, still won pretty handily, not as much as the first, and then the third set kind of, I don't know if we relaxed a little bit and thought, because we had played them earlier in the season and beat them in straight 3 sets. But we kind of let things kind of falter in the third, and in the fourth was not a great set. But what a testament to those girls and Coach LeCurve to be able to really, I felt almost kind of dominated in that 5th set.
Yeah.
Kind of went back to how they played in the first 2 to finish it up, and appreciate how Taylor Reed, kind of led that team.
Yes, she did.
Pulled them together and said, "By God, we're not going out like this."
Right.
And they did it in the end. So if they had not won that 5th set, their season they'd be turning in jerseys today. So now they're in a place where they'll go to Seconder to play Milton tonight. No matter how that game turns out, they'll have another match on Thursday at Seconder for seeding for the playoffs, and then next week. We'll
roll the state dice.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, as per usual, we like to pull the curtain back on Gainesville athletics here on Behind the G. And last night at the volleyball match, I looked at Adam after Roswell had won the second set in a row, and that was the 4th set overall. And I said, "We're done." And you talking about it, what a testament last night's win was to. When we first had Coach LeCurve on, first time she was here with us, and the second time we talked to her about how she's working about that, the mental fortitude, the intestinal fortitude, that's really the difference between winning and losing in moments like that. And we had not won in moments like that all season.
No, and to be a great team, you have to be able to win. You got
to be able to, and a testament to her bringing that to the forefront of this team. And telling them that that's the difference between being good and being great. And man, I mean, it was exciting. If you want to see any footage from the match, log on to our Instagram at Go Red Elephants or our Twitter. We got all kinds of video, including the moment they secured the win, which was pretty exciting.
And it was fun to watch Coach LeCurve. I mean, it always is, because she's fiery. She brings the heat. She brings the energy to that team, and the ups and downs of watching great things happen to
not so great
things happen back to great things.
There was a lot of not so great things that happened in the 3rd and 4th sets, but fortunately, it went the Red Elephants' way. We got From the Trunk coming right up, folks, but I want quickly to get into the GHSA ruling of the playoff seeding with Adam here. Listen, he's going to do all the talking because my head spins when it comes to anything that the GHSA decides. So explain to our listeners out there what had happened?
Yeah, so I'll give you, I guess, the best story that I can. So the GHSA, meets twice a year, where they bring the committees in and they bring the entire state executive committee. And I want to explain to everybody exactly how everything is made up. So you have the state executive committee, which is made up of a representative from every region in the state. I can't, it's like 100 people or so like that. And that makes up the state executive committee. And then from the state executive committee, they put together all of the smaller committees, whether that's the softball committee, the football committee, the eligibility committee. One of those is the reclass committee, which, is really, I think the most important one, because it is basically developing how all the member schools fit together. So all that to say, the reclass committee met and the reclass committee is made up of at least 2 people from every classification, along with a couple of members at large and a couple other people. So it's the largest committee. But anyway, so they've been meeting a bunch over the last year, and I had actually made a proposal to them to change from our current enrollment-based system to a competitive balance system, which, we had kind of been traveling all over the state and kind of trying to educate people on what that would look like. But that didn't get passed, this time. I do think there's a chance for it in the future. But so the reclass committee over the last year had made the decision we're going to continue basically with what we had been doing from determining classifications based on enrollment with the out-of-district multiplier. But at this meeting, they were specifically trying to nail things down, because at the end of October, all the schools have to turn in their FTE, their enrollment numbers. So we will reclass for the 26-27 school year. That'll happen sometime end of October, beginning of November. But the reclass committee at this meeting was trying to get all the rules in place for that to happen. And part of that was developing or approving that we would go to basically putting the top 32 in the playoffs. They call it the postseason ranking. Classifications 1 through 3 in the private school class have been using it for the last 2 years. And basically the short version of that is all region champions will be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs.
Right.
Their spot in the playoffs will be determined by their postseason ranking, that power ranking. And their region champion is guaranteed a 1 through 16 spot. So a region champion is guaranteed to host at least a first round matchup. So if a region champion is actually kind of postseason ranked, let's call it number 22, they're going to be guaranteed at least a 16 seed. So they would have that opportunity to host a home game in the first round. But for everybody else, you are postseason ranked into the playoffs. So finishing region runner up, you could not make the playoffs. Chances are you probably still will, but you have to be postseason ranked. So, and basically the reason for that is depending on the sport, some regions are stronger than others. Let's look at ours, for example. We've got a really tough region, one of the toughest regions in the state for football. Yeah. You look at us, Roswell, and Milton, all ranked in the top 6 in the state. So that kind of really puts Lanier and Seconder and the others, Chattahoochee and Johns Creek, who are not very good in football. But it puts Lanier and Seconder, really the only shot they have to do is to win that 4 seed. Yeah. Well, when we go to this top 32 to make the playoffs, Lanier and Seconder don't have to be the 4 seed. They have to be in the top 32. And the opposite side of that is there are other regions, which I won't name, but there's one in my mind that is not very good in football. And in the past, we've guaranteed that all 4 teams from their region make the playoffs. And then, historically that region gets swept in the first round. Yeah. That's not us. That's not Georgia putting their best foot forward with whatever sport it is as to who's making the playoffs. So the whole point of the whole thing is the state of Georgia wants the best people in the playoffs, so we're putting the top 32 in. So it'll be seeded 1 through 32. Obviously, 1 through 16 will host the first round. 1 through 8 will hold the so forth and so forth. So there's some debate on of course there's a lot of people that are like, well, we've never done this before. True. Yeah. Exactly why we're doing this. Right. But in the end, it did pass the state executive committee with a vote of like 86-1. and it passed through reclass committee unanimously. So I think everybody's excited about seeing. I'm personally looking forward to, as soon as the regular season's over with, I want to take, because they're already calculating the PSR for this year. I want to take it and look and see where would we be, or where would everybody be, and how much different is it than what the current bracket. Yeah, because I think that's going to be very interesting to kind of look at that right now.
So what I'm gleaning is strength of schedule now matters.
Yes.
Whereas it didn't before.
Yes, absolutely.
Strength of schedule and strength of out of regions, the whole schedule, not just winning your 5 region games, your 6 region games. Like the strength of the whole schedule matters more so than it ever has.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter at all unless you finish first. You want to win region anyway. Yep. But unless you finish, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and so the strength of schedule, the intentionally scheduling is going to be huge going into this next one. The formula, and I'm not an expert on the formula, but I know enough to know that the formula is made up of the PSR, the postseason ranking, is made up of 3 aspects. Number 1 is your winning percentage. Mm-hmm. The second part is your opponent's winning percentage. The third part of it is, and this is where I struggle a little bit, is it's your opponent's winning percentage. And they're all weighted a little bit differently.
Right.
They're talking about trying to weight more your personal, your winning percentage more than some of the others, which I think makes a little bit of sense. I struggle when you get all the way out there to your opponent's winning percentage, because you have no control over that. Obviously we choose who we play, so therefore our opponent's winning percentage, we kind of, other than our region, like we kind of get a little say in that one.
Right.
So I think, and again, part of this is the goal is to get the strongest competition in the state to be playing the strongest competition in the state. So, I'll say this for us, as I make our football schedule, it's probably one of the hardest things I do, because nobody wants to play us.
Yeah.
And I understand that to a certain extent, but given this formula, people are going to want to play us. People are going to want to play the better schools, because losing to a school that's in a higher classification is better than beating a school in a lower classification points wise. And then there's some home and away stuff that plays into it. But it is going to make scheduling a whole lot more interesting moving forward. I think, if you want to make sure that you're in the top 32, you can't avoid playing a good school. You're not going to be able to get in and do that.
So before we move on from this, and we're going to do that quickly, I do have one question, and I'm really looking at like a basketball and a baseball more so than football, because again, football just has fewer opportunities to do it than those two do. But we play out of state competition in both those sports. How does that play in? Does it play in the same way in-state competition does?
A little bit. It does make it more difficult, because out-of-state competition, we really can't verify their opponent's winning percentage and their opponent's winning percentage. So, like, every week I'm required to go into the backside of the GHSA's website and put in all the scores for all of our games that we've played that week. That's the way for the GHSA to confirm and verify all of the scores for the teams in the state of Georgia. When you get out of state, you're not able to do that. So it's funny, because for a while there, they were talking about if you played out of state teams, it was not going to count for you or against you, which ultimately really counts against you.
Right, exactly, if it's not counting for you,
Yeah, in football, if you play 2 out-of-state games, under that scenario, if you play 2 out-of-state games, you've got 8 games counting, while everybody else has 10 games counting. But they did tweak it, so basically it will count for you. It doesn't count against you as much, because, again, they just can't verify all of that. So it's going to be interesting. And one thing to point out, and as people are looking at the PSR right now with football, you just have to acknowledge that, okay, football is going to be slower changing on the PSR, because we only play 10 regular season games, as opposed to where softball or volleyball or basketball or baseball, they may play 25, 30 games.
Yeah.
So, it'll be a whole lot more accurate in some of those other sports than it will be in football. Because when you look at it right now, the PSR does not match where I think we think things should be.
Yeah.
So it just takes a little while to get there. Everybody's got to make it through it. I have to assume that once we get to like finishing up week 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever it may be to finish up the regular season, that the PSR will look a whole lot closer to the rankings.
Absolutely. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Great job explaining that. Like, I get it. And, no, it really was. It makes it more fun when everything counts.
Yes.
When everything matters.
Absolutely.
It makes it more fun. And to me, that's the bottom line is, and we want to win every game anyway. That goes without saying. But it matters.
Well, and so
towards the end result that you want.
It's interesting that you bring that up because that was one of the little sticking points that one person was bringing up in the reclass committee meeting, saying, it's going to make your non-region schedule, more important.
Exactly.
And it's like, yes. And he's like, well, what if you have two quarterbacks and you're not sure which one you got to use? Well, you got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out. That sounds like a personal problem.
Well, I understand the argument the person was trying to make, and because basically, here's I'm 2 points here. Here's the crazy system that we've got right now. There are some regions out there that are 5-team regions, so they play 4 region games.
Right.
That means they could go 0-6 in non-region right now. They could go 0-6 in non-region and win 2 games in their region schedule
and make the state playoffs.
That would make them the 3 seed coming, and they've gone 2-8.
Right, exactly.
You can't make that make sense to me.
Right.
But the second part of that, and this is not overly important, but one of the things that they did when they moved everything voted this through to make everything go to the PSR is they put a minimum number of games that a school had to play to be eligible. Because I found this out, and this is, again, mind-blowing. Okay, so apparently there were schools, and I think it was in soccer. Don't hold me to that. And it was in South Georgia. I'm no bones about that. A school in South Georgia in their region only played their region games.
Yeah.
They only played their region games, and again, they could have a region of 6. They played 5 region games. They won 3 of them. They finished 3rd in their region. They're going to the playoffs as a 3 seed and have only played 5 region games, while everybody else is playing 20 games.
Yeah.
So they went and put minimums. If you don't meet that minimum, your PSR doesn't count.
Right.
Which I think it makes it hate that you even have to have that conversation.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous that you would even think that playing just 5 anyway.
Yeah.
And by the way, the minimum matches for soccer is 14 now. So good luck just figuring out your 5.
Yeah.
But interesting thing, and I love it that it's just going to make everything matter a little more. It's going to dial up the intensity, not only, and you kind of hate to say that, the pressure too, but it just dials it all up another notch. And no doubt our Red Elephants we'll figure out a way to make it all happen. All right, so we have the great fortune, speaking of our Red Elephants, of getting to keep up with former student athletes currently competing in college athletics. And we want to pull some names, notable information from the trunk. So, Adam, who and what stood out from the last time?
Well, I got to tell you, every week when I sit down and kind of try to start review what our athletes, what our graduates have done, I never know exactly where it's going to take me.
Right.
So this one got a little bit longer than I was typically expecting it to. But I'm going to start with where I ended last week, and that was mentioning Jay Maldonado at Brenau. They picked up 2 wins this week, where Jay had 26 digs, playing libero for them. So super proud of her. I am going to mention, because I did mention a volleyball player, as much as I don't like to, I will mention.
You will.
I will mention Avery. I'm mentioning her solely because they picked up a huge win last night over a nationally ranked team in Caldwell. And Avery had 3 kills, 3 aces, 14 digs, and 26 assists.
14 digs.
Yeah. So they got playing her a lot of defense right now.
Yeah.
Not really her thing, but
still 26 assists.
But she's going to get in there and ball no matter what. But
no doubt, that's it.
Three aces. So she loves to work on her serving. So super proud of her. And again, for them to pick up a win,
absolutely,
over a nationally ranked team as they get deeper into conference play and preparing for that tournament is huge for them. So anyway, moving on. Darius Cannon for Murray State had 3 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown. Mentioned Zion Ferguson last week for Pitt, getting his first playing time this week versus Boston College. He got in the stat line with a tackle.
Nice.
So super proud of him. Our first of the week, Red Elephant on Red Elephant. I've got to find a different way to say that because I don't really like that. But our first Red Elephant on Red Elephant, meaning there's going to be more than one. Gavin Hall at Furman played Travion Watson at East Tennessee State.
Fantastic, yes.
And Gavin had 23 rushes for 111 yards. Again, he continues having a a great year.
An all right season for them. He's doing all right for the Paladins.
Yeah. And then Carmelo Bird. We mentioned him earlier in the season whenever Sky had made a trip down there to play them. They played South Carolina State, and so pulling up his stats, I realized he's playing both sides of the ball for them.
Is he really?
They figured it out.
Well, listen. I mean, the guy started linebacker for us on that 2022 run to the state championship, and then the very next year was playing running back because he filled whatever need we needed him to fill.
That's the kind of player he is.
Yep.
So guess what they have him doing?
What?
He's returning kicks for them.
Is he really?
So he had one kick return for 24 yards. So super
boy, Mello.
excited for him.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to take a left turn on this one. Talk about cross country, college cross country a little bit. We haven't done that yet. So had Josebeth Graciano, who graduated last year. She's at Augusta University. They had a meet this last week where she personally finished sixth with a time of 20 minutes and 3 seconds for their 5K.
Can we talk about Josebeth for just a second?
I'd love to.
Because we're having Finley on coming up, and we make no bones about we love Finley O'Callaghan. Yep. She's wonderful. Josebeth, one of our favorite student athletes.
Yeah.
And I wish, like you know, just the epitome of what you want a Red Elephant student athlete to be. She was fantastic for our cross country team, fantastic for our track and field team. But more than that, she was an incredible student.
Yeah, so she had incredible grades, but she also worked for us a little bit.
She worked for us a little bit and was wildly involved. A great conversationalist, just a really good kid. I'm super proud she's doing well for Augusta.
Yes. So our last little update here, and this is our second Red Elephant on Red Elephant here.
We do got to come up with a different name.
So I want to mention, and actually they didn't compete against each other. This is again cross country. John Jessup, who's at Georgia Tech, Samantha Hartman, who is at Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
They competed at the same place, I guess I probably should say.
In the same meet.
So John Jessup, they competed at Kennesaw State. John Jessup ended up finishing 15th with a time of 20 minutes and 29 minutes. And I got to say, in college, and I learned this, in college the boys run a 4 mile. So you do the math there. That's
pretty good time.
He was kicking it. He was kicking it. And then Samantha Hartman obviously competed for the girls. She ended up finishing 17th with a time of 18 minutes and 44 seconds. And they run a 5K. So that's why her time's a little bit lower than his.
Always thinking we can't do the whole thing. It's just,
Yeah, it's another story. But again, super impressed with all of our Red Elephants and excited to continue to follow what they're doing.
Absolutely. That's a great list you made.
It took a little while, but
you got it done.
Yeah. Hey, got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. All right, folks, we got Finley O'Callaghan coming up next. And then we've already arguably had the most important vibe check. This is, without argument, the most important vibe check with the one and only head football coach for the Red Elephants, Josh Niblett. Thanks for being here with us on Behind the G. The continued success of Red Elephant Athletics is due in large part to the support given by our Gainesville community through their membership to the Gainesville Athletic Club. The GAC serves all of our GHS programs with funds providing the necessary equipment and gear, among other things, that ensure our student athletes continue receiving a Division I experience in high school. Learn more and become a GAC member today by visiting GoRedElephants.com. One of mine and Adam's absolute favorite student athletes joining Behind the G now, and Miss Finley O'Callaghan. Plays 3 sports for the Red Elephants. One finished up yesterday, and that's softball. She played her final home game on Monday. Had 2 inside the park home runs. She's a speedy little thing, too. Had 2 inside the park home runs for the Red Elephants in that win over West Hall. Softball season finished up yesterday. She's quickly turning the page. We're recording this on Wednesday. Tonight, she plays her first flag football game as a member of that new team for us here at Gainesville High School. And then this spring, she's going to end her athletic career for us here at GHS with the sport she's most passionate about, and that is lacrosse. Finley, what's up, my girl? Welcome in.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm so excited to be on here.
Well, we've been looking forward to this one. So the bar is pretty high. You better step it up today. That's all I got to say.
I knew I was going to be on here, and I knew you guys are expecting some greatness.
So expecting some greatness.
So I got to deliver.
You come through every single time. As we before we start, so I say you're one of our favorite student athletes, and it's not because of your commitment to the Red Elephants, which runs deep. She's involved in everything. She supports everyone. But it's also, you're just sort of this, and anyone who follows me on social media, on my personal page, I put this. She's just sort of a light. Like, you can be in the worst mood, and who knew a teenager could have this kind of effect on an adult? I mean, truth be told, because we all sort of look at teenagers a little skeptically, right? But she walks into a room, and she starts talking to you, and you all of a sudden realize, like, you're laughing, you're talking back. Like, she is a mood changer. And that is a rare quality to have as a human being. And I'm glad that you bring that to both of us every day.
Absolutely. And I'm going to start off this, if I can take the first
I mean,
question.
whatever, I guess.
So you moved here in middle school from California. And I remember you coming and right away sitting down with me. You were very depressed. You'd been kind of a bit of a loser in California, and you came to Gainesville, and you did a 180 degree.
Hold on, is this for real? Did this really happen?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I was so sad, and then I met Coach Lindsey, and I was like,
kidding.
"This is why."
I'm kidding.
Like, this is why.
But I do believe that Gainesville turned her around. We as in Gainesville. Made Finley what she is.
We brought the O'Callaghan out of Finley.
You did.
And that's so far from the truth.
That's so far from the truth.
No, it's right on the truth, actually. Like,
no, stop. So Finley, as you're stepping into your senior year here, you've been involved in a ton. As Katie B mentioned earlier, softball, flag football, going to head into lacrosse. When it's all said and done, what is all of being a part of Big Red, being an athlete here? What is that going to mean to you?
I feel like being a member of the Big Red Athletics means a lot because, it gave me kind of like a sisterhood that I feel like I'm going to have for the rest of my life. Like, I've met some of my best friends playing sports here, and I've also met, some of the best coaches that have, given me words that are going to stick with me for the rest of my life. So it means a lot.
On that note, and I appreciate you asking that question and the things you said, because it's a beautiful segue to something I wanted Finley to do, and I prepped her for it before she came in here. Not by writing it for her. These are all her words. But she wrote a senior speech for softball senior night, which, again, was on Monday. A run rule win for our softball program, which, by the way, under Finley's leadership as a player, had its best year this year since 2014, in more than a decade. They had their best year this year with Finley as a senior, and I think it speaks to her leadership. But I wanted her to read her senior speech because it really, to me, is a testament to what she's meant, what she means to us here at Gainesville, but also what being a Red Elephant athlete has meant to her, and that it runs deeper than just the individual sports she's played and those individual coaches. So do you mind reading your senior speech for us?
Yes, ma'am. Y'all, if I stutter, don't mention it. I'm getting a little nervous.
They'll hear it, Finley.
Okay, guys,
You're
don't
good,
mention it. Okay, so I first started by, obviously I got announced and everything, and they said my position. And then I went into my thank you, so I'll start. I want to thank my parents for the countless hours they've spent at games and for all the effort they put into helping me become the best athlete I can be. Mom, thank you for always lifting me up and pushing me out of my slumps. Thank you for being the biggest supporter on and off the field, for the late night talks after tough games, and for always reminding me of my worth when I forget. You've been my rock, and I couldn't make it this far without your love and encouragement. To Dad, thank you for always helping me correct my errors and improve my playing style. Thank you for all the extra hours you spent practicing with me, for the advice you've given me, and for showing me what it means to work hard and never give up. You've taught me discipline, patience, and how to believe in myself when things get tough. I love y'all both so much, and I'm so thankful God gave me you as my parents. To my brother, Cash, thank you for always pushing me to be the best athlete I can be. Thank you for taking the time to help me strengthen my skills and for always being willing to work on my weaknesses. Love you. To Coach P, thank you for all the time and effort you've put into me, and thank you for pushing me and trusting me to go out anywhere on the field. To Coach Mike, thank you for always lifting me up and making me feel confident in my abilities. Every time I'm up to bat, I can always look down the first baseline and see you eager for my hit. You inspire me, and you put hope back into my heart. To Katie B, thank you for always listening to me rant about tough games and for reminding me that one bad game doesn't make me a bad player. You always speak so highly of my athletic abilities, and I can't thank you enough for reminding me that I'm capable of doing hard things. To Coach Lindsey and Coach Miller, yeah, I give you a shout out, Coach. I know, I see you smiling over there.
Where is this going?
I see you smiling. Okay. I said, thank y'all for all you do for us athletes behind the scenes. I appreciate you so much, and Gainesville Athletics wouldn't be the same without you. To Miss Emily and Miss Chelsea, throughout all my injuries in high school, you've always helped me heal and made me feel better. You always listen when I'm struggling and fix me up with rehab or tape. Thank you both so much. My last thanks goes to God for the life he's given me and the faith he's instilled in me. Going through a season-ending injury wouldn't have been possible without him. None of this would have been possible without my faith in Jesus. All my glory goes straight to the man above. And lastly, thank you to all my teammates for making me feel loved and cared for. It means so much to hear a cheer and a "you got this" after I make an error and get down on myself. I love y'all, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you.
For those out there listening to Behind the G, do you now see why she's one of our favorite student athletes?
Absolutely.
And listen, all those things she says are meaningful. She's about the most earnest person in every room into which she walks. But not only did she thank her coaches, Prestridge, Coach Ledford, but then she goes on to thank the trainers we have here at Gainesville High School. And of course, she thanks Adam Lindsey and she thanks Adam Miller. The thanks to me, wonderful. I absolutely I love it, but I love her. And it runs deep for Finley. Now, you do mention your brother Cash.
Yes,
Those
ma'am.
out there listening, Cash O'Callaghan, former football player here at Gainesville High School, at Delta State now. What's y'all's relationship like? Do y'all fight a lot?
No.
Really?
Cash, okay, so we're only 22 months apart, and we're 1 year apart in school, so that made it a lot easier. But Cash is really one of the most easygoing people ever, so it's really hard to fight with him.
Yeah.
As much as I want to pick a fight.
There's a whole lot of truth in this. That is it's a female thing.
You can look at him and you can be like, "You look terrible today. You need to go home," and be like, "No."
Yeah.
And he'll just walk away. But really, truthfully, Cash is probably my biggest blessing. It's been I've just been so grateful to have someone just a tiny little bit ahead of me to where I can lead, he can lead me in his footsteps and I can follow, but also he's just such a good mentor to me. And I really don't feel like I would be the same without him.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. How excited are you? Today you start with a new sport. A new sport here at Gainesville High School. You get to play flag. You get to play football.
Yeah.
How freaking awesome is that?
I can't tell you how jealous KDB is.
So y'all don't know this, but whenever I was little, I played tackle football.
Did you really?
I totally believe
Yes. Yes. I played flag all growing up and then tackle football. I've been very physical, y'all see when I'm on the lacrosse field.
I mean, she beats me up every time she comes in. Just a nice smack across the face.
Check into the wall.
That's it.
Good morning.
I just have to give you little wake up.
I mean, it's humbling. I appreciate it.
No, but I'm so excited to play football because it just looks so much fun. I'm going to go out there. You're right in everyone's faces. And I'm just really excited. I'm playing tight end. So I'm excited for that, but I'm a little nervous.
Hold on. What did you just say to me? I want you to look at Coach Lindsey and tell me what you said to me in your office. What NFL football player in my office, your office? Yeah, you like how I said that?
Office.
Our office. What NFL player did you say you were now going to be like?
You don't even have to say it.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Adam, who came out with a new album last week?
I did. Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's the Life of an Athletic
Director. It's out in IMAX for 10 days.
It's out in IMAX for 10 days.
We talked about this last week.
We did. I forgot. I'm sorry. I was too busy listening to Taylor Swift. So anyway, I've got to drop her in every once in a while. So I love though that you're coming out bedazzled for flag football.
Oh,
what's the accoutrement look like? Go on, ask me.
What's that mean?
The stuff you're going to be wearing.
Okay,
that's
so
not your uniform.
My drip.
Your drip.
What'd you say? The pregame armor when we did that video?
Yeah.
Okay, so as Coach Lindsey likes to say, pregame armor. I have a bedazzled mouth guard because I got to stand out. I have bright pink gloves, and my cleats are also bedazzled. So
here's the thing.
Did you personally bedazzle them?
No, I shout out Adidas.
Shout out Adidas.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. We're a Nike school.
Not shout out Adidas.
So you stand out anyway. Why do you? Okay, anyway, we're not going to get into it.
Yeah, unnecessary.
I had
We're
to
not
be
gonna
girly girl out there.
I get you. I feel you. Until here's the thing. She's girly girl until the proverbial kickoff happens.
Yeah.
And then Finley's going to get after somebody. If you've ever been out to a lacrosse match, and we have them here at Bruce Miller Field this year, they're going to be out at City Park in the spring. Finley, a standout player for us. She is. She's fantastic at lacrosse. I don't understand the sport of lacrosse, but much like Avery Lindsey did for me with volleyball and Taylor Reed does for me at volleyball now, Finley has done with lacrosse. I don't understand what the heck is going on, but I enjoy watching them play. And so I'm going to go support that. What do you love so much about lacrosse?
Okay, so I used to play softball when I was little, and then I was like so hyper. Like, I know it's hard to believe, but like,
Used to be?
yeah,
When did that start?
y'all, I would
Hold
go
on.
crazy.
Okay, this is a good question. Used to be, okay.
Yeah, so I would be like in the infield, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking bored. Like, you know, it's like coach pitch, so people aren't really hitting bombs, and I'm like, can something happen? Like, I would just get so bored out there. And my mom, well, from California, lacrosse is really, really big out there.
Yeah.
And so my mom was like, let's just try something new. So we got to lacrosse. The second, y'all, I kid y'all not, the second I put a stick in my hand, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, thank you, God. Like, wow, I'm a changed person. And I just haven't stopped playing
That's all it
since.
took.
That's all it took.
It really, yeah. And I just haven't stopped playing since. Like, ever since 6th grade, I've played year round, never got a break. And I just, like, I can't get rid of it.
Is that what you hope to do in the future? Like, do you want to play in college?
Yes, ma'am. Coach Mike and I actually had to talk about this the other day because I was like kind of torn, you know, after my injury, I was kind of down on myself and just not really knowing if I could play in college anymore. You know, all the offers I had just didn't really stand after my injury because we thought I was going to be out for at least another 12 months. But I was talking to him the other day and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to go for lacrosse. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see what the vibe is. And then he brought up like, you know, you can go to college for softball too and just be a power hitter. But like, I just could not imagine myself without lacrosse.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, you'd still be bored in the time you know, you couldn't do softball.
Yeah.
Do you still get bored in the infield?
No,
Like,
y'all, okay, it's way different at the varsity level than it
Right.
is at kid pitch. Don't worry.
Okay. Because I was about to say, if you are bored, you're not showing it. Like
no,
you're not.
I love softball now. It's just like back then, ooh.
I did see one of your teammates once this season. She was digging in the dirt during a game, and from the press box, I have no right to do this. I understand. Maybe I do. I don't know. But from the press box, I leaned out and screamed, like, we don't pick flowers in varsity softball games.
You were really upset about that. You brought me into your office the next day, and you were like, Finley, what is going on?
Tell your
I
teammates.
wasn't there either. I heard about it every day for a week.
Yeah, I did too, but I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the way y'all are just shaming me in this podcast today
Hey, it's behind the G. We're giving the real story.
of what it's really like
high
to be with
truth,
me.
high love.
High truth, high love. So when you think about look, 3-sport athletes are rare these days. It's hard to be a 2-sport athlete. And I think there's a legacy therein with simply spreading your athleticism around the way that you have. But what kind of legacy you want to leave here?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Let me think on this. Hold on.
All right.
Well, while you're thinking, I do want to take a second and just comment on your words there. I appreciate a student athlete that really takes the time to put the thought into appreciating those that supported them. And that's not about me or KDB. I feel like too many times, especially this day and time, parents kind of get forgotten in some of this. And for you to be able to individually talk about your parents, the sacrifices they've made, the encouragement they've made is so important. And I really wish all of our athletes did that. Your parents need to hear that. I got a slap on the back from my daughter at senior night, like, hey, get out of the way. I know your parents. I know how committed they are to you and your brother, and willing to do whatever it is to make you successful. So I know they appreciated that. So.
Yeah, my parents are the best. Like, I really could not do anything without my mom. Like, my dad and I are really close, but my mom, like, she goes above and beyond for my brother and I. Like, during summer ball, one weekend we'll be in Massachusetts, the next weekend we'll be in Missouri, and she's just happy to be there. And, like, I can always count on her to be on the sidelines and be cheering and just wearing my number all over her. Like, she's just so proud to be my mom, and I'm so grateful for her.
There was a contingency on softball senior night wherein Finley's now famed number 22 in red shirts. Finn's fam was out in. I want to get back to the legacy question, and maybe I'll rephrase it so it's a little easier to answer. I understand that's sort of a big thing to have to think about on the spot. But you mentioned a few minutes ago when we were talking about lacrosse, your injury. I want you to tell folks out there listening what kind of injury you had, what it took you away from, and what it took away from you. But also, why was it so important to get back?
Yeah, so I think my sophomore season, I actually remember this perfectly. We were playing at East Forsyth, and their turf didn't have a lot of give in it, and I'm used to, our turf being perfect. I love our turf.
Yes.
And I went to do a rocker, which is basically where you, go on your right hip, you lean on your right side, and then go to your left, and then you go to cage. And so I went on my right, and I felt this, big crack, and I was like, uh-oh, something's not right. But me, I will never let myself get out of a game. I will never let, anyone see. So I remember right after I scored, I, started crying. And I don't cry ever. I have a very high pain tolerance. I've just never been a crier. And I was like, something is so wrong with me. But I still played that whole game. I went home. My hip was all black and blue. It was very swollen. I couldn't walk. I was like, what in the world is going on? Had a game 2 days later. I wasn't about to let my team down. So I continued to play on that for about a year. I played the rest of the school season, whole summer ball season, whole fall ball season, played softball. And then I went back in my junior year, first game. We had the first 5 games. We were undefeated. And I really felt like I was on top of the world. I was having a really good season. My stats were at an all-time high for me. And after a game, I just remember I couldn't walk. And I was like, I called Miss Emily. Miss Emily had been begging me to go to the doctors. I was like, I really cannot walk. I'm going to go to the doctors tomorrow. So I went to the doctors. I got my scans done. And we had to wait about 4 days. But those 4 days, I went up to Boston for a college visit. So I was walking through the airport in so much pain. I was crying. It was okay. But college visit went well, so it's okay. It was really fun. I had a blast. But so we got back and we go to the hip specialist, and we end up finding out that I fractured my femur and I tore my labrum in my femur, and then I also had cam lesions on my right femur, and then my left hip was also strained from the overcompensation. So when I got surgery, it ended up taking me out for 6 months, but it was supposed to be 12 to 18 months.
All of that and continued on. That's
all
amazing.
of that and continued on. Well, I mean, I think it's first of all a testament to her, the toughness. Maybe also not that smart. Just maybe
it's a good combination of both.
It's a combination of both. Well, I mean, your daughter's like that. You could, you could. Avery Lindsey could be beaten to a pulp on a Tuesday night. Wednesday, pop up and play a volleyball match at 8 a.m. Finley's that exact.
Yep.
We've got those kind of female athletes around here that the ones who are doing it whose names you all hear are exactly like that.
Yep.
They're just tough in that regard. What did it take for you to get back? I mean, that's a big injury, Finley.
Yeah, it was really rough. The first few weeks, I couldn't do anything. I was actually in a wheelchair. It was so embarrassing. It was literally so embarrassing. I remember I was around school, and I couldn't even get up the freaking ramp. I was so annoyed, but it's okay. And the elevators kept on breaking. So anyways, what it took for me to get back, back on track, sorry. I went to rehab 3 times a week for 2 hours each time, and it sucked so bad, y'all. I was in so much pain the whole time, but it's okay. And then, just rehab on rehab on rehab. And then I couldn't do any kind of physical activity. It was so hard. I would be staring at my goal outside, and I'd be like, gosh, I want to be out there, but it's okay. And just a lot of rehab. It was really tough mentally. I would say it was way more tough mentally than it was physically, just because I was watching my team compete, knowing I couldn't do anything about it. And then after I went out, we just didn't have the best of luck with the rest of the season. So it was just really hard for me to see wow, I think they might need me out there. I don't know.
Maybe. So as you turn your eyes to this upcoming lacrosse season, what goals are you going into this season with?
Okay, so I broke the scoring record freshman year, and then I hit 100 points sophomore year. So this year I want to hit 250 because I think I'm at 150 right now-ish when I ended. But I really want to hit 250 because I would be super happy and really proud. And I just want to leave a good legacy as a lacrosse team, because I feel at the end of the day, points and all that doesn't matter. Nobody's going to remember wow, Finley had 100 points 10 years ago. I think they're going to remember me more by my legacy and by my leadership. And I feel that means a lot more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And a heck of a leader. You will be in lacrosse and flag football because you have been in softball. When I say, as we wrap up with you, I want you to look back. We just looked ahead. I want you to look back. When I say this was the best softball season in over a decade, and it was under yours and Kelsey Lester and Al Douglas's leadership, how does that feel? What does that mean to you?
It feels really good because, Coach P and Coach Mike, I'm really close to them. They're honestly great coaches. I love them so much. I think of them like my uncles, and I tell them that all the time. But
Lucky them.
Lucky them.
Mike is Funkle. Coach P is regular uncle because Mike
Yeah.
is fun.
Listen, he's the head coach. He's the bad guy. Yeah.
But it feels really good that they trusted me a lot to be like a leader on the team and to guide the girls. And I tell them all the time, I said, thank you guys so much for like trusting me to lead y'all and just really putting that trust in me and like being able to build a relationship with every single one on the team meant a lot because like they're going to carry this on for years. And like I remember I still talk about Alani, which was my captain for 2 years, and I'm like, I just miss her. Like, I wish she was out here. But I hope
amazing.
that they, I mean, Alani's the best. I hope they think about me like that in 2 years.
And we wrap up with her answering a question I asked about 20 minutes ago, and that was, what do you want your legacy to be?
And I can't believe it's not the TikTok.
It's not
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Totally
also,
exactly what
everyone
I was
listening to this, go follow TikTok right now because I run it and it's the best.
Okay. Holy cow. Folks, if this last 22 minutes has not shown you exactly why I said she's one of our favorites, you either put the headphones down or you just don't like fun, because that's what Finley is. Fun and a heck of a student athlete for us here at Gainesville. One that, frankly, you need to go out and see. She's one of those you need to go out and see, whether it's flag football, their next home game on Bruce Miller Fields October 29th, or when lacrosse season comes around. These are the kind of student athletes. We want you to support all our student athletes, but these are the ones that are destination TV. We love you so much. I'm so thankful that you're a Red Elephant.
Absolutely.
And that's coming from a deep place.
And I'm so glad we were able to turn your life around.
Turn your life like we did.
It was in the gutters before, honestly.
Finley, we appreciate you so much for being on. Thanks, kid.
Do I say thank you? Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for listening, everyone. Love y'all. Love being a Red Elephant. Go Big Red.
Make sure, if you haven't yet, that you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Go Red Elephants is the handle. And bookmark our website, GoRedElephants.com, where you can find the latest news and photos from Red Elephant Athletics, plus roster and schedule information. Go Red Elephants on social media, GoRedElephants.com on the web. All the Big Red you can handle right at your fingertips. Welcome back to Behind the G, your official behind-the-scenes look at Gainesville athletics. As we do each week, it's time to check some vibes. And we're thrilled, as usual, to do so with our football coach, Josh Niblett. His team, fresh off another statement win. I kind of think all wins are statements, but that's neither here nor there, and I digress. Big Red put a big whooping on some Jaguars Friday night. 41-14, the final. Our guys moved to 3-0 in the region. Coach, what's up? You good?
I'm good. Good. To God be the glory. Glad I got to wake up today.
I don't want to. We are too. I'm glad you said that. Very glad. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on Seconder. What's done is done. But I think the question I want to ask most fast forwards to this week. Big game for Gainesville on the road. We'll get into the details here coming up. But it comes into this week. 13 penalties in a night. Your frustrations with that on Friday night. Who were the frustrations directed at? And what are we doing? What are we doing this week to just kind of zip that vest up a little tighter? I don't know how to say it. That's not a good. You know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I'll take any suggestions you got. So, I mean, it's been something we've dealt with. You know, I mean, if I could put my finger on it, we wouldn't do it. You know, so I mean, for whatever reason, but. I mean, I reserve the right to expand on it too much. And there are some, I mean, I'm a firm believer you can call holding every play. I mean, if you
absolutely,
want to.
Absolutely.
It just seems that you would get it called on us a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is fine, pre-snap penalties, post-play penalties, things like that. That's the stuff we want to cut out because we know if we don't have those, then – we can cut out 60 to 65% of any penalties that we have. And we talk about playing clean. We talk about it at practice every day, I mean, so it's not that we don't coach it. It's not that our kids don't understand it. It's just sometimes, your focus has got to be on those minute things of if an official is going to call holding, then you better be good at having your hands inside.
Right.
So you have to have a feel for that during the game and know how you have to adjust your game based off of how they're going to call it. And like I said before, we've overcome a lot of stuff to win as many games as we have as far as penalties go. I mean, because
no doubt.
We've had some, and we talk about it week in and week out about trying to improve it and play clean. And this week we're going to have to play clean because anytime we've played in games that have not been where we wanted to be at the end, it's been something we've done to ourselves, whether it's been a penalty or a turnover. And so, we're just trying to get over that hump. I mean, that's the hump we're trying to get over. But last week, we did have too many penalties, and it has been addressed. But just like it's been addressed every week. But it's not that we don't work on it. It's just that we got to make sure we can adjust to how the game's going to be called also.
First of all, kids are emotional. Adults are emotional. Sometimes that emotionality takes over. We know this. It's across the board, not exclusive to Gainesville. There is something, though, that is a bit exclusive to us. And I want to know if in your I know you felt it. We are arguably the most hated period, across period, the period board period, athletic department in the state. And it is seen in things like maybe more holding calls being called on us. And I'm not kidding. This is not about. I literally had a coach come into my office yesterday out of nowhere. It's not someone I regularly talk to, but they know that I'm a Gainesville person. It was a football coach coming. Look, dyed in the wool, right? Red elephant or an elephant with the trunk up, tattooed on my arm. Here we go. Big time red. And they said, you were right. Everybody hates us. And I was like, oh, yeah, no doubt. Do you feel that? In the actual coaching of a game, and do you feel sometimes that it's like, good gosh, man, we're just representing a great community?
I probably need to reserve the right to speak on that also. But I've always, I don't know if I'd say hated, dislike, but look, and it may be me. Because I felt a little bit of that when I was at Hoover. Yeah. So, it may be me. And, I don't know. But, I don't know. I don't have a problem with different things. And that's why I don't talk about it a lot, right? So, I just want the game to be called fair, you know. And I think that's I have the utmost respect for officials because it's a thankless job.
It is.
Yep. And there's not very many officials out there. So those guys are doing their best job. And they hustle. And the thing about it is like, penalties are going to call. How would I call a game? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Until I put myself in those shoes. So, I don't know from the perspective of hated. I'm going to let you expand on that when you want to expand on that. But for me, it's just, us staying locked in and focused on what we have to do to continue to improve every week, right? Whether somebody likes us or they don't like us, that's not even, we can't even let that be part of the equation because we cannot let conditions, this is what we said before. We have this DNA that we talk about within our program. And one of them is chasing best, right? What does that look like? Well, it's chasing conditions, it's chasing circumstances. What does that mean? When you chase it, you don't come in second to it. So we can't let that affect us of not being who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, and so I don't, you could talk about that all day. And everybody wants to probably talk about it. But probably from my perspective, it's probably not good for me to talk about it.
I get you. Okay.
Because I do respect the officials. And look, man, I know it's hard to get officials. And it's just a profession right now where not a lot of young people are wanting to get involved in it. And then you've got a lot of older officials that are ready to get out of it.
Yeah.
And so, and if we don't have officials, we're not going to have a game. So, you have to be careful about what you do say, even though it does aggravate you sometimes. But look, there's calls I probably make in the game that, that are terrible too. So,
and there's opinions on that as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And look, I'll follow this up and just say, officials are human. Officials make mistakes. I don't necessarily. I do think that people hate Gainesville. But I don't always fall on that the officials feel that way. I think that sometimes the ball bounces the wrong way, and we just as fans feel that way.
Oh no, I meant sometimes the hatred manifests in that.
Sure, yeah.
But any place we go into, whether it's the fans, whether it's the ticket takers, there's.
But during the game on Friday night, I was getting texts from people saying the officials are awful. They're against Gainesville, and I just don't fall on that side.
Right.
Call me ignorant. I don't fall on that side of things. Are there calls made at times where I feel like it's completely wrong? and you can easily say, well, that's just because we're Gainesville. And I don't fall on that side of it. I think the officials are doing the best job that they can. I do think it's different from one game to the next. Us playing a second-year where we're second-years outmatched as opposed to a game that's closely. I think they're officiated differently, and that's part of the nature of the game.
No, they're sweet.
But here's the thing too. I do think the Gainesville hate is real.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this purposely to change the page. There will be a lot of people that pull for us this week that would not pull for us otherwise, because Milton has a lot of people that hate them too.
No, yeah.
So that being said, I mean, I agree the Gainesville hate is real. I don't always agree that it's the officials. I do feel like sometimes we're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger than a lot of teams that we play, which naturally puts us in a position to make things look worse than they are, whether that's hand placement or whatever it is. I mean, as Coach said, like, our coaches are coaching the right way to do things. Does a kid lose focus every once in a while on what they're doing and make a mistake? Absolutely. Those things happen. But I tend to believe on some of that's just because we're bigger, faster, stronger, and things happen a little faster, on our end than they do for others.
Right, which is the exact reason why bigger, faster, stronger is why we're hated to begin with. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
But you're a competitor. Officials aside, I didn't mean to put that all on the officials.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how the hatred for Gainesville solely manifests itself.
No.
Nor do I think officials go in and go, oh my God, we hate them.
Yeah.
Anything we can However, as a Gainesville stan, when you're sitting there watching and we're getting penalty after penalty after, and the other team's not, sometimes you got to say, well, this has been happening our whole lives. It can't just be a coincidence.
No.
But as a competitor, when every environment is a hostile environment, and you feel that, especially when you are successful as a competitor, every environment is a hostile environment. I personally, as an athlete, as a coach, love going into environments where I'm hated, we're hated. I love it. It brings out the best in me. Would score the most points, get the most hits, win the most games in environments where the vitriol was palpable. You could cut it with a knife. Do you feel that as a competitor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love playing at home, but I love winning on the road. I mean, I do. I mean, I just think there's something to getting your ball club ready to go on the road and to win on the road. Because I think if you're going to win championships, you got to win big games on the road. I mean, it's going to happen. You're not going to play all 15 games at home. I mean, It's not, and so especially this year, only being on the road, two times?
2 times so far. This will be the third.
But our kids understand that. They know that. And as a competitor, I mean, that's got to be something you want. I want the deck stacked against me. I mean, that's probably when I'm at my best, is when the deck's stacked against me and somebody maybe doesn't give us a chance. Because this week, our people, we'll have some of our people that may not believe we can win, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be people on the outside because look, they're the defending repeat state champion. They're I guess you would say the measuring stick within Georgia,
right now,
because of what they've done, and they as well deserve that. And so for us, we got nothing to lose. Everybody can think we got something to lose. We ain't got nothing to lose. So we need to play like we ain't got nothing to lose. And I think when you go into those environments, that's kind of why you got to play free. Can't be anxious. We got to put together a good week of plan, good week of prep, so we earn the right to play at a high level on Friday.
Yeah.
Right? And then when we get there, our guys, I just don't think that affects. I think our guys, the more the chaos, our guys are better.
I love that. Yeah.
Whether it's a rain delay or the bus whatever. It's when things are not going as scheduled, I think our guys do a really, really good job of handling it. And I think because in this world today, we live in a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
True.
We do. And so sometimes we're at our best when it's chaotic, right? And it's not just planned out. And so it'll be chaotic this weekend. And that's why I think our kids will step up.
Chaos takes thinking out. You just react.
Yep.
I feel that.
Coach, so with a game of this magnitude, there's a lot of noise, social media chatter, and school-wide hype. What's your message to the team about tuning out all the distractions to maintain the focus this week in the big game?
It's kind of coach speak, but keep the main thing the main thing. Wow. I mean, our kids know look, we're in the same spot we were in last year.
Yeah.
But I do think we're in a better spot.
I agree with that.
I think just where we are from a mindset, I think our kids have a lot of confidence, in what we're doing and where we are as a team. We've had our share of some injuries that, we've kind of now are back healthy, which has been awesome. We had our share of not making some good decisions. Now we're all back, and so there's been some adversity that we've had to face to get to this point. I think everything happens for a reason, of course. But I think just, paying attention, because even after like the Carrollton game, I told our guys, look, man, you're going to hear a bunch of noise out there. They're going to say, hey, yeah, I told you Gainesville ain't this, not that. And I was like, look, man, soak it in. That's fine. All right. But just know that just keep that little bit of pain in the back of your mind. All right. And then when it's time for us to show it back up again, then we'll know, hey, I don't want that feeling again. Right. Yep. And so this week, I think our kids have tapped into that because we know last year, which this is not last year's game, but we had some opportunities in the game and we didn't make the most of them. But when you're off the field, what are you doing to calm your mind, right? What are you doing just to stay focused on your day-to-day? Because I told them, I was like, look, this is not a week to go rogue. This is not a week to, decide, hey, I'm going to go do this week. I'm going to go do that
Let's try something different.
Yeah, look, this is the week where you want to do everything right. Like I want your locker to look great every week, but this week it all looks sharp.
Yeah.
There just needs to be a different mindset. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can stack those days together, then it allows a chance on Friday to be locked in and focused and not be exhausted from everything that's going on outside the circle.
Milton, specifically, anyone who is a high school football fan, watched them play against Buford earlier this year on national television. At least I think it was national television. Was it just regional? It was national. ESPN? I don't know.
No.
Anyway, was it not?
No.
Where was it? It was just regional?
Yeah, just regional.
Regardless, you saw him play on TV. Starting quarterback goes down. He was run first guy in the game against Buford. They come in with another guy who is more of a pass first guy. And so Milton is not the same Milton you saw week one, but they are going to be the same Milton that won 2 state titles, just different guys in the uniforms. Specifically, what are they bringing? What are they bringing Friday night, Coach?
Well, I think the quarterback will be back.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I think he'll be back.
How do you come back from hand surgery?
Well, he's a tough kid. Watch the Buford game.
Your throwing hand. I get it.
Well, and they may not use him to throw.
Yeah.
But, they may use him in the run game. And I might be wrong on that, but we're preparing for it. We're preparing because the last thing we want to do is not prepare for it. But you also got to make sure you spend ample time of preparing for also what, 75% of their offense would be in a game. Offensively, you can't give up the explosive. And, when you play in big games, like I say that all the time, and you're playing for championships, you got to be able to run the football and stop the run. And they pride themselves on being able to run the football like we do. And they've done a really, really good job of that all year. And then this quarterback that moved in like the second or third week, he can spin it.
Yeah.
He can. And he's a little bit more of a Johnny Manziel. So if you don't keep him in the pocket now, he'll create. And we can't lose coverage. And so, we've got to do a really, really good job of keeping him in the pocket, trying to get pressure on him, tackle the football in the run game, and then keep the ball in front. Mm-hmm. And if we're able to do that, then we'll be exactly where we want to be during the game.
Yeah.
All right. If we don't do that, then we'll be playing catch up all night.
Yeah. Defensively?
Yeah, they're just very sound in what they do. They kind of plug and play. You got a lot of guys that, I think they had probably 7 guys that graduated from last year's team, 8 guys maybe. But the scheme that they use is just so player friendly that they just plug these guys in and, hey, it's the same thing that guy was doing last year. That guy might have been a little bit more athletic or he might have been a little bigger, a little faster. But what they do is what they do. They do an extremely good job of running to the football. They're going to set the edges on you. They're going to make it tough on you to run the football, and then they're good in the secondary. And they try to use their playmakers a little bit on both sides of the ball. So we got to use that to our advantage also. And then on special teams, just, anytime you got dynamic athletes, you're always going to have a dynamic return game.
Right.
And we've got to do a really good job protecting cover. They have blocked a punt. I want to say in just about the last 5 games, they blocked a punt.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And 3 or 4 of those has been returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
They've had a punt returned for a touchdown. So special teams wise, they do a really, really good job. So our kids have got to make sure every snap counts, and we need to do a good job of winning the hidden yardage where we lost about 88 yards last year.
Yeah.
We can't do that this year.
The key to not having a punt blocked is what, Adam?
Don't punt.
Don't punt, baby. Let's go.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Go.
Yep.
Hey, I gotta first correct myself. I'll be honest. I was not listening to your question.
Oh, shocking.
I know, right? My wife never says that. The Buford Milton game was nationally on ESPN.
Yeah,
I apologize for making that mistake.
See what I deal with, people.
I know.
My gracious.
I know. So, Coach, if you could narrow it down to one matchup, what matchup in this game do you feel like is the key to picking up the win for the Red Elephants?
Well, I mean, to me, I think it's the 2 boxes. Mm-hmm. You know, it's their defensive box versus our offensive box. I mean, it's, you know, are we going to be able to create some creases inside to get our guys going, right? And then it's our defensive box against their offensive box. You know, can we make them one-dimensional, make them have to throw the football to win the game? And I think those are the matchups. I mean, it's going to be the interior and in the boxes, whoever can, you know, have an opportunity to have success is the one that's going to win the game. And so at the end of the day is who can run the football, who can't run the football. And so I think that's a big part of it because, yeah, we like to throw the football and they like to throw it around too. But you know as well as I do, like you have to be able to run the football. Yeah. All right. If you don't, then people are going to pressure you. They're going to bring a lot of stuff. And then all of a sudden all night you're running for your life. Yep. And so we just got to do a really good job of being physical in the interior. And I think our kids will do that. So,
yeah, we spent a lot of time last week talking about the balance of our offense, and this is certainly a week that being able to do that is to our advantage. Is there? This is a huge week, a huge game this week. You know, we can over talk that, but has the preparation or the schedule for the team been any different this week leading up to a big game like this?
No, I think today, I tell you what we did in practice this morning is we kind of had our twos, like our guys that rotate. They did a lot this morning of giving the look like Milton. So instead of it being just our freshman or look team, it was our actual twos. So they do a lot of the same stuff we do on offense. So it allowed us to get those guys reps. And then our 2D gave the look to our offense in our crossover periods. So the speed and the physicality of this morning when it was look was a little bit different. Yeah. And I think that's going to help us tremendously. I think that's a little part of the schedule. Tomorrow, I'll probably cut about 10 minutes out of tomorrow's schedule where it's been a normal, because as you start moving through the season, you know, what you don't want to do is be beat down by the time Friday gets there. And if you can cut 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I think it allows our kids to be where they need to be mentally and not be exhausted. So, yeah, we've adjusted that a little bit. But other than that, besides, you know, Pep Rally Friday, that'll be the other schedule part.
Yeah.
Pep Rally Friday. So this is moving aside from X's and O's. And you all can't see me right now out there in listening land, but I probably just look like I had a mild brain burn or something. Eyes closed, head in hands, because I want to make sure that I phrase this correctly. Former athlete, former coach, you know, and this being the vibe check, we do want to know these intricate details. You know when a win's coming, and you can almost smell when a loss is too, based on the demeanor of a team. And no, I'm not asking you to predict what column we're going to fall in Friday night. But you can just sense when there's, you know, a different focus, when there's no focus. You don't have to sense that, you can see it, but you can sense when there's a different focus, when you're dialed in. And, you know, I remember, you know, warming up for basketball games, and you could almost feel the energy, and you just knew you weren't going to lose that night. preparation for an opponent that had beaten us previously in the season. And you're focused in on those little things that beat you previously, so much so that you just know they're not going to beat you the next time you play them, that Tuesday night, that Friday night. It's a vibe. You can sense it when you're ready, your guys are ready. Where are we as a team where that's concerned? Can you sense that the guys are that something special's coming? Can you sense that with the guys?
I think our guys have a high level of confidence right now. I mean, I do. We probably could have finished practice a hair better this morning, but I don't know if we could have started and been through the middle into the last part of practice better than we could have today. Yeah. I mean, the energy level was high. Just guys being locked in and focused on what they've got to do. I mean, and so, I think our guys are in good spirits. They're loose right now, which is good, and I want them to be that.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday.
Loose, not silly. Like, understand the difference there. Loose, not silly. Loose is good, right? The mind's out of it. You're just reacting to stuff.
Yeah. Well, in Matthew chapter 34, verse 6, it says, don't be anxious for tomorrow is anxious of itself. So, we don't need to be anxious about what Friday comes and, hey, look, just be where our feet are. But I always expect our guys to show up and play, right? I think the biggest thing for us is we've got to do something to give ourselves a shot in the arm early in the game. And I don't think our guys are going to go out there trying to fill it out.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go out there and cut it loose. I think we've got a great plan together. Today we'll get together, as a staff tonight, put our third down and red zone package together and implement that with the kids tomorrow. But I was really, really pleased this morning with just the attitude, effort, execution this morning. And I think our guys are ready to play. Now we still got 3 more days to get ready, and we don't have to be ready right now. But yeah, I do. I like where our guys are. And I told you after the Carrollton game, look, this is different. It's just different.
Yeah.
I mean, when our guys came in after the Carrollton game, it was just a different demeanor than last year.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you were at the second year game, anybody could go and say whatever they want. Like, we try to take every game as serious for us, right? I mean, we don't take anybody for granted. But I did something a little bit different this past week as far as activation. So I'm letting our kids handle their own activation instead of the coaches doing it, because I felt like as a while we were kind of maybe gassing our guys a little too much. Mm-hmm. So, the other night, you could have heard a pin drop on the field when our guys were activating.
Wow.
Just helping each other, stretching, rolling out, headphones on, just spreading out, doing whatever they needed to do. And our staff even said it. They were like, we'll be ready to play. And we were ready to play. Now, me to probably go back to that activation at halftime and do that again,
Yeah.
But, we came out of the gates and played well, and that's a tribute to our players and where they are. And I think they're growing up, and I think they're maturing.
Yeah.
And I think they want to act like professionals. And so I expect us to play like professionals this week.
Player-led.
Yeah, Coach,
incredible.
Yeah. So, Coach, year 4 in the program. And I'm going to come to this question where I'm going to revisit this question again next week. But how does a game like the one that we have this Friday night against Milton serve as a benchmark from where the program currently is and where you want it to be?
Yeah, first of all, I don't want our program to be like we can't win the big game.
Yeah.
And that's the elephant in the room. It is. And so, hey, I understand that. Our kids understand that. But the only way we're going to do anything about that and change is we got to go win this week, exactly. Right? And so, I don't apologize for anything. Like I told our kids before, there's some games that everybody sees as big games, but we've won some big games here. Just people outside the circle didn't realize how big they are because they ain't in here every week with us.
Right? Exactly.
They don't know what we're dealing with.
We have won big games.
And so they don't understand that. And I know because it's Milton that everybody makes it out because they're the repeating. We got to beat them if we want to win the region, right? And I totally understand that. But 2 years ago when we beat North Forsyth, maybe you didn't think North Forsyth was as good as Milton, but that was a big game.
It was a big game because I think at some point we have to remember where we were 4 years ago.
Oh, listen, mere 4 years ago. Yeah.
And I think, we want to win every game, and every game is a big game because we're in it.
Our program is not there now. Now our expectation, right? Our reasonable expectation now is to win this game, right? Against a nationally ranked team, all right, that has all the pomp and circumstance. I mean, they have all the swagger. They've got everything, all right, that, you want in a program as far as being successful, then, having that respect from everybody because everybody knows who you are.
Yep.
And so for us, if we want that, then these are the games you got to win.
Absolutely.
And that is an expectation in our locker room, is to win, period. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Anyone who doubts that that's been the expectation from day one is willfully ignorant. And yeah, anyway, I probably could say more, but that's always been the expectation. It was the expectation here before you came, Coach.
Yep.
Is to win. So
the other thing is this, and I might be sticking my foot in my mouth, but this weekend there's going to be a good team, there's going to be a great team, and you know what? The great thing about it, we're about to find out which one we are.
Yeah.
And I'll tell our guys today, we're the best team in this matchup. We just got to go prove it.
Yep.
There's a difference between saying you're the best and then going and proving it. So I think that's the bottom line is we got to go out there feeling like we got something to prove.
Yeah.
All right. And then when we do that, then we'll play at extremely high level.
Absolutely love the way you put that. Good team and a great team. Which one are we? I'm banking on the great team.
Yep,
but, then again, that's usually what I'm going to bank on with Big Red. Coach, always love having you on. Weekly Vibe Check, one of our favorite segments of the week, most definitely our favorite time of the week. I know this red elephant can't wait to see our boys put on those chin straps and go to work at Milton on Friday night. Folks, get your tickets at GoFan. Get to Milton and support our boys. They need it every week. We want it this week. Love you, Coach. Love what you do for our guys. Love what you do for our community.
Well, I want to make sure everybody knows out there we need everybody there. Don't take it for granted. If you're playing in a big game, I don't care whether you see a game as big, small, or whatever, but we need everybody there this week. We need our student section there. We need everybody that played here before, didn't play before, people that just love Gainesville. We need you there. We need you there early. And I promise you this, you'll see a team that's going to play extremely hard and execute extremely well. And so I'm excited about that. So God bless everybody. Go Big Red.